Can a wooden loom outthink a modern machine? Watch the first 5 passes. The master's hands adjust tension mid-throw, the beater sets rhythm, and the warp answers back. No electronics, just technique. We'll decode how 4 actions, warping, beating, shuttle throw, take up, carry decades of instruction from books and bench time. You'll learn why this craft lives in the fingertips, how tradition guides each decision, and how a plain weave becomes a statement. If you've ever wondered why your cloth drifts or your selvedges fray, the answers are inside these motions. Why do masters pause half a heartbeat before the first beat? That tiny gap lets the cloth settle so it doesn't breathe unevenly. We start quiet, shuttle across, catch. Beater comes forward, stops, back. Hear that single knock, like a metronome with muscle. No rush, no double tap. Up, down, stop. Hear the shed change. Now the strike. Novices slam the beater the moment the shuttle lands and the fabric bows. Selvedges flare out because the weft is still moving inside an open shed. The master holds a blink. The shed closes. Then beat, clean, done. Watch the sequence build. Throw, catch, close the shed. Beat on a closed shed. The weft locks where we put it. No smear, no rolled edge. The hand that threw is already guarding the angle. The other hand brings the beater home on the breath. Exhale on contact. Inhale on the return. The loom answers with the same thud every time. Texts on rigid heddle and 4-shaft work teach beat on change for a reason. A closed shed anchors the pick. Trade articles drill the same habit. Let rhythm be your tension gauge. Hear it. The loom will tell you when the line is even long before your eyes do. Like a drummer ghosting the snare before the downbeat, the master taps light to set the cloth, then delivers the real strike. No show, just control. That faint pre-contact guides the yarn to seat without stealing width. Keep the entry right. Weft goes in with a steady 30 to 45 degrees. Just a little lift at the shuttle nose. Too flat and the edges bite in. Too steep and you waste yarn and invite loops. The lead hand holds the angle, pass after pass, and corrects the sag before it becomes a ripple. Watch the silent cues. Jaw soft, shoulder rolls back, wrist turns to set angle. Breath falls into step with the treadles. Up, down, stop. And the beater only lands when the gate is shut. 5 passes in, and the cloth already sits square. So the invisible timing cues. Breath tied to the beat on a closed shed. A held angle on entry. A light set before the real strike. The loom pays back with a uniform thud. The fell line straight as a string strike. Okay, then come here. We move from rhythm to the hands that read tension like a gauge. How can a thumb press replace a torque wrench? Watch the master check one end and read the whole field. One touch. Decision made. Before the next picks, 2 fingers slide under the warp. Lift, just a little. Good. We listen with the skin. Across the width, the give should match. If the right side hums tight and the left side sighs, we don't weave through it. We fix it now. Hand looms drift. Humidity swells yarn. Dry air shrinks it. Take-up changes the pull with every beat. One side climbs, the other sinks. Machines clamp one number and hold it. Here, the number moves, and we move with it. Watch the subtle fix. Ease the pull. One tooth. Advance the cloth a handspan. Reseat the break. Good. Hear it bite. Now palm smooth the fell line. Heel to fingers. Press across and feel the highs fade. The ridge that wanted to grow into a crease disappears before the next throw. Floor looms give us 2 main reins. A ratchet and pull for steps. A friction brake for glide. Use both like a clutch. Micro advance. Stop. Test again. Texts on floor looms stress frequent micro-advances to prevent stress cones and broken ends. Rigid heddle guides echo, advance early, advance often. We don't wait for a snap to learn the lesson. Like a carpenter running a hand along a plain board to catch a ridge, the weaver's palm finds the hard spots and the hollows. Eyes miss, fingers don't. You will feel a tight pocket as a drum tone under the skin. That's your cue. Selvedge control isn't a mystery thread hiding at the edge. It's the same discipline every pass. Hold a clean weft angle, then add a slight outward tug at the selvedge, just a little, to seat it. Never yank the selvedge end. Yank and you carve a groove. Guide and the edge stays true. Here's the tell. The master tweaks the breaker fraction, shoulders square, hips settle, feet ready. Breath resets. The next throw will test the fix, not gamble on it. Why the precise finger work? Those presses map tension across the warp, diagnose where it drifts, and trigger the right micro move. Ratchet, break, take up, before trouble shows in the cloth. So, now it has to go down here, the shuttle path. Because throw and catch finish what fingers start. You can spot a master by the shuttle. Level flight, soft landing, edge set. Miss one and the cloth starts to neck in, fast. The throw stays low and flat, no wobble. The catch hand is already there, palm open, to cradle the shuttle and stop its run without a bounce. Close the fingers, hold it still. Then the beat comes. No flail, no wasted reach. Beginners chase speed and lose the line. The shuttle noses up, tumbles, grabs a warp end. The edge bites in. The fell ripples. The fix is not more force, it's cleaner motion. Watch this entry. The master lifts the shuttle nose just a little as it slips into the shed. That tiny lift lays a gentle arc in the weft. Now, at the selvedge, a small outward nudge sets the edge. Done. Other side. Same thing back. The arc is the same height, the nudge the same size. The width holds. Guides on band weaving and small looms teach controlled edge formation for this reason. Resources like handwoven describe the bubble, the arc in plain terms. Set slack in the pick, or the cloth will draw in. The move is small, but it has to be there every pass. Think of feeding a belt on a pulley. Pull it tight and it creeps inward. Give it the right slack and it tracks true. The weft needs that same slack to seat without stealing width. Shed height matters. A clear, clean shed lets the shuttle fly without lifting or skipping. If the shed is pinched, the shuttle bounces against threads and drags the edge. The master watches the shed, not the shuttle, and times the treadle change after the beat, so the pick locks before the warp moves again. Trap a pick, and the edge shows it immediately. Watch the sequence tighten now. Throw, arc, catch, close, beat. We repeat it at one pace so the fabric stays square. Breath rides the cycle. Hands do the same job, in the same order, with the same pressure. How did the hands give away a novice? The catch hand arrives late. The arc changes size. The beat hits before the shed is closed. A master does none of that. Pre-position the catch. Shape the same arc. Beat on a closed shed. No extra motion. Then we can continue with the engine of it all. Warp prep and take up. The slow decisions that outsmart a machine. Why does the cloth stay square after an hour? The take-up is the quiet boss, and the warp remembers how it was born. We loaded that memory early, cross-preserved, least sticks aligned, even winding from the first turn on the beam. All that care shows up now at the fell line. The beater hits and the web doesn't skew. Good. That's not luck. That's birthmark set straight. bad warping hides. Then it bites late. Stripes drift a thread at a time. Ends start to sing tight, then snap. Pattern lines lean. You won't fix that at the beater. You fix it back at the beam. Build the beam like a stack of gears. Firm packing slats from edge to edge. No soft spots. Choke ties spaced the same, with the same pull. Threading without a single cross error. Each small choice keeps downstream tension from hunting. We want one load path, not a dozen squabbles. Writers who train new weavers call warp prep the core variable. They're right. Museum floor demos show it plain. Even warps reduce differential take-up in twills and overshot. The cloth holds its squares because the foundation doesn't argue with itself. A loom is a weight-driven clock. If the gears, the warp layers, are uneven, the time drifts no matter how you nudge the hands. You can beat harder, change your breath, fuss with the shuttle. The drift stays until you rebuild the gear train. This is how 1988 weavers outsmart machines. We load human judgment into warping and take-up cycles and make micro-corrections at the right second. Fixed tension systems chase a number. We chase what the yarn says. The cloth tells us when we're right by staying quiet. That's it for today. Hope you liked the info and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.